Let's start chapter 8 by looking at nonverbal communication. So, in this picture, you see all sorts of different things. You see the person talking in the cell phone, but also the five people around him. And you probably, based on their nonverbal communication, what they're doing with their hands, what they're doing with their eyes and eyebrows, what they're doing with their mouths, whether they're leaning forward or not, you're probably drawing some conclusions about what they think, what they think is going on here. Now, the problem is that our communication isn't always direct and it's not always clear. So you've probably had someone at some point ask you if you're angry. And you're sitting there going, I don't think so. Why would you think I'm angry right now? And that may be a problem with encoding, that somehow or another our words and our nonverbal communication does not really match with with the message that we mean to send. It may be a problem with noise, that there is something interfering with the other person's ability to decode what we're talking about. Or it may be a problem with decoding. So for example, the recipient, the listener, may, because of their core narrative, may believe that everyone is angry. And so as a result, see you as angry. But in general, we trust our nonverbal communications. We trust what people do. Well, let's go back here. Do rather than what they say. So if this man were saying, I'm listening to you, you'd probably go, not so much. And I think that that cell phones are probably something that may be sort of age and culture dependent, that, for me, someone who is on their cell phone more than just a little bit during dinner or, while we're talking, to me that says, this is boring. I'd rather be someplace else. I'm not listening to you. Now, nonverbal cues can be difficult to decode, as we were talking last week, and easier with more information. So here we have not just Serena Williams' face, but also we're seeing how her hands are, how her arms are, what kind of muscle tension there is, and we know that she just beat her sister Venus Williams in a match. Across cultures, it's there are certainly high levels of agreement about these emotions: fear, disgust, happiness, and anger. But some things, for example, fear, this depiction of fear is easily recognized in the US and not in New Guinea. The same with disgust. High agreement in the US and very low in New Guinea. Almost everyone recognizes happiness across cultures. Anger is a hard one. So New Guinea, about half of the people responding said that's anger. Actually, in the US, it's only about 2/3, with other countries perceiving this more easily as anger. Things like our personal bubble or personal space tends to indicate intimacy, and we are much closer in more intimate situations than in more public situations where we're talking 12 feet or more. Some of these rules are probably being uh, flexed out a little bit more with COVID, you know, as we're having to make some decisions about, is this person not interested, or is this person concerned about spreading disease? Now, personal space isn't only about um, about distance. So you can see President Johnson not just being close to the senator, but actually intruding into the senator's personal space, causing the senator to move back. And so, you know, as we're talking about nonverbal communication and communication in general, there are multiple reasons why people might behave as they do. And we need to be aware of those multiple reasons if we are going to decode what we are, you know, what we're thinking well, if we want to be a good communicator. Now, as we will be talking more about this in our next video, but as we're communicating nonverbal empathy, there are a number of things that are typically seen as, you know, someone who is interested and caring. So this man here has an open posture. You know, legs and arms aren't crossed, and they're relatively relaxed. He's leaning forward, you know, so you see that he's interested, like we're doing when we're watching something that we're really excited about. And we tend to lean back when we're not very interested. We tend to make eye contact when we are interested in something. But note that eye contact has many different meanings. We make eye contact when we're interested, when we're engaged, when we are threatening someone, and we break it when we're embarrassed, when we're feeling guilty, when we're thinking about something, when we're talking to someone with more power. And so we need to be decoding and thinking about some of these other pieces of what's going on. We've already talked about personal space tends to be smaller when we're talking to someone we care about, and greater when we are talking about someone in a more formal situation. We tend to have a warmer smile on our face when we're interested and care, and we're more likely to reach out and touch someone when we're interested. However, touch is an advanced skill because it has so many other meanings. Things like, you know, it can be perceived as sexual or aggressive or intrusive, like LBJ was doing, President Johnson. So take care. See you for the next video in this series. Bye-bye.